The entire hall fell silent when the wedding screen changed on its own. In place of the romantic photos, a security camera video appeared, and in it, it was her, leaving a hotel, holding hands with the groom's greatest enemy. Seo Joon-ho, the billionaire owner of the Myri Group, stood at the altar like a statue. His mother screamed. The guests raised their cell phones, and Ha-yoon, her white dress trembling on her body, felt the world collapse exactly as she had planned, because that scandal was the revenge. A year earlier, Ha-yoon didn't exist by that name. She was Yoon So-ra, the daughter of a bankrupt professor, whose family was destroyed after her father's company fell due to a financial accident. Her father fell into depression, her mother disappeared, and So-ra lived as a shadow. But she discovered the truth: the accident had been bought, and the name behind it was Seo Joon-ho. So-ra decided to become someone else. She changed her hair, documents, history. She entered Seoul's social circle with a new face and a new goal: to make Seo Joon-ho love, trust, and lose everything. And she succeeded. Joon-ho fell in love with Ha-yoon as if it were destiny. He showered her with gifts, assigned bodyguards, opened the doors to his mansion, and spoke of marriage within a few months. And Ha-yoon smiled and accepted, while keeping evidence, codes, and conversations. She wanted to bring his empire down from the inside. But there was a stone in the way: Kong Min-jae. Min-jae was Joon-ho's most dangerous rival, a man who smiled little, spoke softly, and always appeared when the Myri Group was about to sign a contract. They hated each other in public, but their hatred seemed too old, too deep, and Min-jae suspected her from their first meeting. "You're not who you say you are," he whispered one night, when he found her alone in a hotel corridor before an event. "If you're playing with fire, you're going to get burned." Ha-yoon laughed, feigning calmness, but inside, her heart raced. She should have avoided Min-jae. Except, to hit Joon-ho, she needed someone with access to his weak point, and Min-jae seemed to know that point like no one else. So Ha-yoon did what she swore she would never do: she sought out the enemy. She arranged a meeting in a discreet bar. She sat across from him and said, bluntly, "I want to destroy Seo Joon-ho." Min-jae wasn't startled. He just looked at her, a long look, as if confirming something. "And what do you offer in return?" Ha-yoon swallowed hard. She had evidence, she had information, she had a plan. But Min-jae wanted more than that. He wanted to know how far she would go. That night, she left with him, not for romance, not out of desire, for the plan. Except when Min-jae touched her, his voice in her ear, the way he looked at her as if he saw everything, Ha-yoon felt something that wasn't in the calculations. A dangerous heat, an impulse that scared her. She hated herself for it, and even so, she didn't stop. Days later, with the wedding approaching, Ha-yoon went back to being the perfect bride. Joon-ho didn't suspect a thing. He just squeezed her hands and said, "After today, you will be mine. Forever." And Ha-yoon thought, not forever, only until I destroy you. But on the morning of the wedding, before her makeup, she ran to the bathroom and threw up. And when she saw the blood on the corner of the tissue, fear hit her like a punch. At the clinic, the result came fast. Pregnant. Ha-yoon felt her legs give out. The first thing she thought was, this can't happen. The second was worse. Whose is it? Because it had been weeks since she and Joon-ho truly touched. He was controlling, cold, always busy. The only moment she allowed herself to lose control was with Min-jae. And now, at the altar, the video exploded in front of everyone. Joon-ho took a step toward her. His look wasn't of pain. It was of rage. "You betrayed me with him?" Ha-yoon opened her mouth, but before she could say anything, Min-jae appeared in the hall, as if summoned by the chaos. He walked to the front, ignoring the screams, and faced Joon-ho. "Don't touch her." And Ha-yoon understood instantly. The revenge had begun, and she was trapped between two monsters. The wedding turned into hell in minutes. Joon-ho ordered the security guards to lock the doors. Cell phones were snatched from the guests' hands. His mother was crying, but not out of sadness, out of humiliation. Ha-yoon tried to breathe, but her throat tightened. She couldn't faint there. She couldn't show weakness. Joon-ho pulled her arm forcefully and took her to a private room behind the hall. He locked the door. The impeccable suit hid the cruel man he had always been. "Who are you really?" he asked, with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Because Ha-yoon wouldn't do this. Ha-yoon almost answered the truth. She almost screamed, "I am Yoon So-ra and you destroyed my family." But she held back. If she spoke now, she would die. Not in a dramatic way. In a silent way. "I didn't betray you," she lied. That video was edited. Joon-ho gave a short, icy laugh. Do you think I'm stupid? The door opened without anyone knocking. Min-jae entered as if he had the right to be there. Two security guards tried to stop him, but he showed a card and they backed down. She is leaving with me, Min-jae said. Jun-ho stepped forward. You invaded my wedding. You invaded her life a long time ago, Min-jae replied, and the way he spoke gave Ha-yoon chills, as if they were talking about something very old. Jun-ho looked at her. Are you really going with him? That was where her plan should have shined. The scandal, the escape, the public downfall of the billionaire. But her stomach tightened. The baby, the pregnancy, the danger. Min-jae held out his hand to her, firm, without rushing. It wasn't a romantic request. It was a way out. Ha-yoon took it. She left the room without looking back, hearing Jun-ho's scream explode in the hallway. She got into Min-jae's car, and only when the door closed did she realize she was trembling. Min-jae didn't turn on the radio. He didn't ask if she was okay. He just drove, focused, as if fleeing from a bomb about to explode. Why did you show up? Ha-yoon asked, her voice low. Because I knew he was going to trap you there. How did you know? Min-jae stopped at a traffic light and finally looked at her. His gaze was heavy, as if carrying guilt. Because I know Seo Jun-ho better than you imagine. Ha-yoon held back her tears. I didn't want the video to appear today. It was supposed to be later, when I was sure. Min-jae frowned. So you really are trying to take him down? Ha-yoon remained silent for 2 seconds, and decided there was no point in lying to someone who already knew. He destroyed my family. Min-jae nodded, as if this confirmed something inside him. He took Ha-yoon to a discreet apartment, far from the Myri mansion. And there, without makeup, without a dress, without people watching, she sat on the couch and the truth weighed in a different way. She brought her hand to her womb, still in disbelief. Min-jae noticed the gesture. Are you sick? Ha-yoon hesitated, but the truth came out like a stab. I am pregnant. Min-jae froze. 1 second. His face grew tense, as if the air had been stolen. His? He asked. Ha-yoon shook her head slowly. Min-jae looked away, closed his eyes for an instant, and let out a breath as if he were trying to control a gale inside. Then, it's mine. Ha-yoon felt anger and fear at the same time. I didn't plan this. I didn't want to. I know. His voice came out firm. But this changes everything. Before she could ask why, his cell phone rang. He answered and stood in silence, listening. His expression hardened. When he hung up, he said something that made Ha-yoon's blood run cold. Seo Jun-ho put your name on the wanted list. He is saying that you stole group documents and fled with your lover to sell everything. Ha-yoon felt the floor disappear. He is going to destroy me. Min-jae leaned forward. He doesn't want to destroy you. He wants to bring you back. What for? Min-jae faced her directly. Because you know too much, and because he needs you alive. Ha-yoon swallowed hard. Are you on his side? Min-jae let out a humorless laugh. If I were on his side, you would already be in the mansion, locked up. He stood up and opened a drawer. He took out an envelope full of photos and documents. He placed it on the table. I sought you out because I also want to bring Seo Jun-ho down. Just the right way. With evidence. With prison. Ha-yoon opened the envelope and saw old photos of a house catching fire, of people being dragged, of a man fallen on the ground, and a name repeated in reports. Seo Jun-ho. She felt nauseous. Not from pregnancy. From horror. Min-jae spoke quietly. He killed people, Ha-yoon, and he will kill again if you stay in the way. Ha-yoon looked up, trembling. Then why did you help me? Min-jae answered without hesitation. Because I won't let him use you like he uses everyone else. And in that instant, Ha-yoon realized that she wasn't just in a revenge. She was in a war, and now there was a life inside her, connected to the worst secret of all. The next morning, all of Seoul already knew about the wedding of the year that had turned into a scandal. The newscasts showed the video, cut to Jun-ho's face, and repeated the word betrayal as if it were a sentence. Ha-yoon could barely eat. Fear was a living thing, walking with her through the house. Min-jae made phone calls all day. He spoke little, but each sentence seemed to cut the air. He had people watching the street. He had escape routes. He had a plan that he didn't fully explain, and that irritated Ha-yoon. Don't you trust me? She asked. Min-jae looked at her as if the question were dangerous. Trust is a luxury. We don't have it. Ha-yoon clenched her fists. Then why did you bring me here? Min-jae took a moment to answer. When he did, he was direct. Because he's going to come, and I'd rather he come to me than to you. As if summoned, the intercom rang. A nervous voice said there had been a black car parked on the corner for over an hour. Min-jae went to the window, observed, and cursed under his breath. It's him. Ha-yoon Hyun felt her legs go weak. Jun-ho is here. Min-jae pulled out a gun. He didn't point it at anyone. He just tucked it into his waistband as if it were routine. Hyun stared, shocked. You carry a gun? I carry my life, he replied. A few minutes later, the door was broken down. Men in suits, miry security guards, invaded, and in the middle of them, Seo Jun-ho walked in calmly. Too calmly. He looked around, as if he were entering a meeting room. Hyun. His voice came out soft, but his gaze was poison. You disappointed me. Hyun wanted to scream, but her voice failed. Min-jae stood in front of her, shielding her with his body. Jun-ho laughed. Look at that, the hero. Min-jae answered without raising his voice. Get out of here. Jun-ho ignored him. Do you think you can steal my bride and walk away? Hyun gathered her courage and took a step forward. I am not yours. Jun-ho's smile vanished. Yes, you are. You just haven't understood it yet. Min-jae shifted, ready to act, but Hyun raised her hand, asking him to stop. She needed to speak. She needed to throw the truth in his face. You ruined my family. Her voice trembled, but it didn't break. I know what you did to my father. I know it was you. Jun-ho stood motionless for a second, and then he clapped slowly. A cold applause. So you are Yun So-are. Hyun froze. How did he know? Jun-ho stepped closer, ignoring Min-jae. I knew from the beginning. The way you looked at me was hatred. Hyun felt a chill in her chest. If you knew, why did you ask me to marry you? Jun-ho tilted his head. Because I needed you close. I needed to control you. And because I wanted to see how far you would go. Min-jae clenched his fist. You are sick. Jun-ho looked at Min-jae with contempt. You say that as if you weren't the same. Min-jae stiffened. Hyun noticed. Something there hurt him. Jun-ho turned back to Hyun. Come with me. I'll erase this scandal. I'll give you money. A comfortable life. You just need to obey me. Hyun felt the bile rise. I'd rather die. Jun-ho smiled again. Don't say that in front of your child. The world stopped. Hyun's eyes widened. How do you? Jun-ho looked at her womb with a terrifying gleam. Do you think I don't have doctors? Do you think I don't follow your steps? Min-jae stepped forward. Stay away. Jun-ho laughed. So it is true. It's yours. Congratulations, brother. Hyun barely understood the word. Brother. Min-jae went pale, as if that word were a weapon. Jun-ho continued, calm, cruel. She doesn't know? Of course not. You were always our father's hidden bastard. The son no one introduces, but everyone uses when it's convenient. Hyun looked at Min-jae, breathless. Is this a lie? Min-jae didn't answer right away, and his silence answered for him. Jun-ho spread his arms, as if offering a deal. Do you understand now, Hyun? You may have run from my altar, but you never escaped the miry family. Hyun felt the urge to vomit again. Everything was connected. Everything. Jun-ho took a step back and made a gesture. The security guards began to advance. Min-jae grabbed Hyun by the hand and ran with her into the hallway. There was the sound of fighting, screaming, things falling. Min-jae opened a back door and pushed her out. They ran down the stairs, descended, and got into a hidden car. And when Min-jae started the engine, Hyun asked, her voice barely a whisper. So is that why you hate each other? Min-jae answered with his eyes fixed on the road. No, we hate each other because he did something worse. Hyun held her breath. What did he do? Min-jae spoke like someone swallowing blood. He killed our father. And Hyun understood that the groom's enemy was her only chance of survival. Only, the baby she carried was the living proof of a family war. And Jun-ho would not let that escape. The city seemed smaller when you know someone rich and powerful wants you on your knees. Hyun couldn't go to the police. She couldn't call anyone. Her name was burned in the media, and Jun-ho's version was the only one that money allowed to exist. Min-jae took Hyun to an unexpected place, an old hospital in a closed wing, where an elderly doctor received them without questions. It was as if Min-jae had been there many times before. The doctor examined Hyun, confirmed the pregnancy, and said something that changed Min-jae's face. She needs rest, and stress can cause a serious problem. Hyun felt her heart tighten. She could handle threats, scandal, running, but she couldn't lose the baby, especially now that it was the only thing that felt real. When the doctor left, Min-jae stood still, staring at nothing. I ruined your life, Hyun said, her voice low. I got into this for revenge. I used you. Min-jae turned his face to her, without anger. I used you too. Hyun frowned. What do you mean? Min-jae took a deep breath. I knew you were going to get close to Jun-ho. I let it happen. I wanted you to enter the group. I needed someone inside. Hyun felt the shock, but couldn't hate him, because it made sense. Because that world only worked like that. So we are the same, she whispered. No, Min-jae replied. You wanted revenge. I want justice. Hyun almost laughed, humorlessly. And is there justice for people like him? Min-jae pulled out a folder and opened it on the table. I have proof of what he did to your father, and what he did to mine. All that's missing is a signature, a document that is in the main safe of Myri. Hyun's eyes widened. And how do you want to get that? Min-jae looked at her, serious. With you. The plan was crazy, but it was the only way out. That night, Hyun returned to the Myri mansion as if she were repentant. Downcast face, red eyes, the kind of image the media loves to call a fallen woman. Junho was waiting for her in the living room, alone, as if he already knew. He wasn't angry. He was satisfied. I knew you would come back, he said. Hyun swallowed her fear. I have nowhere to go. Junho stood up, slowly, and touched her face as if he owned it. Good girl. Hyun held back the urge to pull away. She needed to buy time. She needed to get to the safe. Junho led her through the hallways and spoke, almost with affection. You will give me an heir, and I will forgive you, but you will never defy me again. Hyun felt disgusted, but she also felt a twinge of panic. If he found out the baby was Min-jae's, she wouldn't make it out alive. When Junho stepped out to take a call, Hyun ran to the office. The safe code was something she had memorized, his date of birth. Vanity was always a weakness. The safe opened. Inside were documents, flash drives, and a folder with old photos. Photos of a nursery, a birth record, 2 names. Hyun started reading and the blood drained from her face. Because the document said that, on the day she was born, there was a switch. Yoon So-ra was not the daughter of the bankrupt professor. Yoon So-ra was the biological daughter of the founder of the Myri Group, daughter of the same man who was the father of Junho and Min-jae. Hyun brought her hand to her mouth, trembling. Her entire life had been manipulated. The poverty, the fall of her adoptive father, the abandonment, everything seemed like a prison set up so she would never return to her place of origin. And then she understood the reason for the marriage. Junho didn't choose her out of love. He chose her because he found out who she was. He wanted to marry her to control the real heiress and not lose the throne. The office door opened behind her. Junho was there. Beautiful, isn't it? He said, calm. The truth hurts. Hyun turned slowly, holding the folder tightly. So you knew. You knew I was from your family. Junho nodded. You are the lost daughter, the perfect piece. With you, I shut the board's mouth. And with this baby, I make the market believe in a love story. Hyun felt a chill. You're going to say the baby is yours. Of course. Junho smiled. After all, who is going to believe Kong Min-jae, the angry bastard? Hyun took a deep breath and made the most dangerous decision of her life. She picked up her cell phone and pressed a button. On the other side of the house, the fire alarm went off. Junho's eyes widened, irritated. What did you do? Hyun took a step back. What I should have done from the beginning. The lights flickered. Staff ran through the hallways. And in the chaos, Min-jae appeared in the doorway, like a shadow, fast, firm. He saw Hyun with the folder and understood everything without words. Junho lunged to grab her, but Min-jae stepped in between. The two brothers faced each other, the same old anger, the same blood. You're going to lose, Junho whispered. Min-jae replied, not today. They left there with the documents. And when the car disappeared into the night, Hyun finally cried. Not out of weakness, out of relief. Days later, the evidence leaked. It wasn't an ordinary leak. It was precise, surgical, a complete dossier, with names, accounts, murders, frauds. The media that previously called Hyun a traitor, now called Seo Junho a monster. And the great fall happened when the Myri Group's own board turned against him. But Junho wasn't arrested immediately, because he had one last trump card. He appeared at the door of the hospital where Hyun was having an exam. No security, no press, just him, and he spoke, smiling. Do you think you won? I am still the only one who can tell you where your real mother is. Hyun froze. Min-jae arrived behind her, fast, and faced his brother. Junho stepped a little closer, like someone leaving poison in the air. If you want your mother alive, come back to me, and hand over that baby. Hyun felt the world spin. Her hand went to her belly, and there, at the hospital door, she understood that the revenge was not over. It had only changed shape, and now she would need to choose, save the past, or protect the future growing inside her.